We are spending a week living with something very orange, very fast, and very fun, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Can you have a fun, enthusiast-focused performance crossover that's all electric? We're gonna find out. So what exactly is N? Well, it's Hyundai's performance sub-brand, kind of like how BMW has M, and they've applied the treatment to the Ioniq 5, an existing electric crossover that I like quite a lot. It's got really fun, quirky little styling, it's nice to drive, and the 5N really got people talking about performance enthusiast-focused EVs. Now, we've had fun to drive, powerful, performance-focused EVs, but they're really expensive. I mean, the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, and then you go up to like the hypercars like the Rimac Nevera. They're really, really cool, insanely fast, but they cost as much as the GDP of a small city. With the 5N, it's still not cheap, but it definitely is a more attainable vehicle that brings a lot of the fun factor while being an EV, and it really got people talking. This thing has a lot of cool tech, a lot of like gadgets and toys and things to play with inside. This thing was designed for the video game generation, and it definitely also looks really cool in this Soultronic orange, this pearl orange here in the sun. And just take a look at the styling, the arrow, the little flares, and the crazy 21-inch wheels. Like, this thing is designed for fun. So this thing has quite a lot of different things for us to play around with, and one of the first ones I'm going to mess with is this button here, NGB, N Grin Boost. You get 10 seconds of boost. Wow. Today was a long and exhausting day of travel. Left home at 6:30, 4-hour flight delay. Then we landed and there were no gates because there were lightning strikes. So the tower wasn't letting any planes dock at the gates. Did you dock a plane? No, it's a boat. Anyways, we are now ready to go to dinner with Fabio in the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. You're excited for this, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I thought about this car.
Oh, you thought about, buying one?
Yeah, in the past I have.
Ooh. So now I have a tachometer, which we're in park. What?
Super fake, but it's okay.
This thing is just a video game. Fun quirk, these seats are manually adjusting because race car? I do like this little welcome sequence. Let's take a quick break to talk about today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. Life can be so uncertain, stressful, overwhelming. I know my life is absolutely a little bit crazy. My to-do list is always massive. There's endless videos to film, edit, plan for, research, emails, meetings, travel, making time for my wife, myself, family, and friends. It can be a bit overwhelming, and there's something about spring that seems to amplify these feelings, brings it out even more. It's like the weather is getting nicer, car season is approaching, there's pressure both external and internal to do more and more and get out there. So if you have some of these feelings, it can absolutely help to work with a BetterHelp therapist, because I know it helps me. It's super simple. You fill out a questionnaire and you get matched with a therapist. And if you feel like that therapist is not a good fit for you, you can change therapists at any time with no extra cost. It's also fully online, super flexible and convenient. I travel a lot, so I can take my calls from at home, from a hotel room, on the road, whatever is the most convenient and comfortable. So if you have some of these feelings, you're dealing with some of this, definitely try working with a BetterHelp therapist. Click my link in the description below or go to betterhelp.com/EddieX for 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Now back to the vlog. We're starting off the weekend with some gloomy rain, but also a full tank of electrons, so we're showing 219 miles of range at 100% charge. Also, earlier I retracted my cup holders. You see, they're gone, but watch this. Oh, it's a little bit in the way. But they have cup holders that could pop out, or they can go away if you don't need them. Ah yes, to be expected. Traffic, but the driver assistance system is pretty good, about on par with the other Hyundai, Kia, Genesis vehicles I spent time with. You do need to keep a hand on the wheel, but it's doing a good job handling distance, keeping it in the lane, adaptive cruise control going, and we are almost to downtown. You can see the Sears Tower over there, and yes, I still call it a Sears Tower, even though I know it's the Willis Tower. It is still the Sears Tower to me. The Chicago skyline. I'm getting hungry, excited to get some food. All right, a trip to downtown Chicago and back. We're down to 57% charge, 120 miles of range, and I've been using eco mode, so that gets us a bit better. If I go into sport, it drops down to 113 miles. But range is not the most plentiful aspect of the Ioniq 5N. They definitely prioritized fun, and there is lots of fun to be had with this thing, but we will definitely be visiting a charging station this weekend. With that, we're going to go inside, get some rest. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so the powertrain is pretty impressive in this thing. It's a dual motor all-wheel drive system that normally makes 601 horsepower. The front motor is 223 horsepower, the rear motor is 378 horsepower for a combined output of 601 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. But there is a button here on the steering wheel called NGB. What does NGB stand for? N-Grin Boost Mode. If you press that button, you get 10 seconds of an extra 40 horsepower for a combined output of 641 horsepower. Hyundai says 0 to 60 in around 3.25 seconds, which is pretty dang impressive for an electric crossover. We're at a crossover, right? Like, that's quick. Now, in terms of the battery pack, it's an 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, and because they increased the power by so much, range is just all right. EPA says 221 miles. I'm seeing just barely over 200, and that's if you're driving very responsibly. If you start having a bit of fun, that number is going to drop if it's cold. Not the strongest part of the 5N, but it'll charge pretty quickly over 200 kilowatt charging speed, 10 to 80% in as little as 18 minutes. But in terms of pure performance numbers, this thing is pretty impressive. Today is going to be a very busy day. I am currently heading to Costco to grab some diapers because a friend of mine has decided to generate a smaller version of herself. They're having a baby, and apparently these small humans really need a lot of diapers. So we're gonna grab some diapers, go to her baby shower. So lots of driving around, spending time with the Ioniq 5N, and let's see how many diapers fit in the back of this thing. Although apparently they're really, really expensive. So originally I was gonna be like, I'm gonna cram this thing to the roof with diapers. And then I looked at how much they cost and goes, oh, maybe I can't afford that. How do people afford having babies? Jeez. Well, this is the first time I have ever bought diapers. Time to load up the trunk. I mean, obviously this is plenty practical. It is a crossover after all, even if it does have 641 horsepower. And then, as always, put your cart back, which the cart actually kind of matches the car. This thing looks properly cool and sporty. Just look at the black contrast in the back. Like, it definitely kind of screams hot hatch vibes, even though it is a crossover. Let's activate NGB. Sheesh. And then when it times out, it tells you have to wait 10 seconds. See, there's a countdown timer there. N-Grin Boost cannot be activated. Let's take a look at the exterior design because, oh boy, does this thing look properly cool and sporty. But it's a balance of form and function. It's not just looking sporty for the sake of looking sporty. There are some properly functional aspects to the design. The lower fascia here features active grille shutters. These will open and close for better airflow and cooling. We have this satin gray fin here that extends along the side to this almost like canard piece, but that's functional because it can channel air through there. The overall 5N is wider, lower, and longer than a regular Ioniq 5. It is 0.79 inches lower, 2 inches wider. You can see the wheel arches flaring out here, and 3.2 inches longer, which is mainly because of the rear diffuser here, a properly aggressive looking rear diffuser with some fins there, another reflector, and then this bright orange accent color. Now, this orange accent color is different from the body color Soltronic Orange Pearl. You can see it here. This is the N accent color, which I believe they call Luminous Orange. See the logo right there, and you'll also see it echoed on the brake calipers. We've got 21-inch forged aluminum wheels, a very different look from the more efficiency-minded regular Ioniq 5. I do like the two-tone machine metal and black finish on these wheels. And then there's all these other details that just show how much more aggressively styled this thing is. Take a look at these vents here on the rear fender. Coming around back, we have the spoiler, which has the pass-through there for air, and then a triangular third brake light here, and then it kind of is very enclosed back here. I actually washed this car earlier, and this is still dirty because nothing was getting back there. This is also a cool little pattern. They took the repeating square pattern and turned it into a kind of checkered flag look, which is more racy themed, right? So we'll see that in a couple different places. We still have the repeating squares here across that rear taillight area. You see the N logo there too. But this thing, it just looks so cool, fun, sporty, aggressive. Like, I love this black two-tone piece here as it flares out much more aggressively. Like, it gives you rally-inspired hot hatch vibes. When these first came out, I thought it was like maybe a Volkswagen Golf, a GTI Golf R kind of sized hot hatch, but it is a proper crossover, right? So it is much larger, but the design definitely gives you that aggressive, sporty hot hatch look. The inside is also pretty cool. So we have the N logo on the door sill with that checkered flag repeating pattern, and a much more aggressively bolstered sports seats here with the light blue stitching, an N logo there on the seat back. But it is important to note these are manual adjusting. They are heated and cooled, but they are manual adjusting seats. Let's go ahead and hop in. We have the double 12.3-inch screens, an actual start-stop button. All right, so there is a lot going on with the steering wheel. We have the N logo in the middle, and then these two floating N buttons, kind of like how Mercedes-AMG has their rotating dials. And then like BMW M with the M1, M2 buttons, we have our drive mode and NGB. And then we have paddle shifters that either control your level of regen braking, or if you're in the N E-shift mode with the simulated gear shifts, these would be your paddle shifters. So you do have the option to turn the sound off, but then you can also customize all these different parameters, from your limited slip differential to stability control, your motor, steering, suspension. We have launch control. Go to additional performance options. You can change the level of grip you want for your launch control. We have the E-shift, which is that simulated gear shift thing. The active sound, you can turn it off or change the various different themes. Battery preconditioning for drag or track. And like, there's so much. Drift optimizer. This is to help you hold an angle of slip, right? So if we had more space, I would probably decide to try to play around with that, but I don't think I have time for that right now. Okay, there are some a little bit annoying stipulations. So torque distribution is only allowed if I do not have the E-shift set up, and I did have that on, so now it's off. But now I can change the torque distribution. So this is fully rear-wheel drive now if I want. Can you go full front-wheel drive? Oh, I guess if you wanted a front-wheel drive, you could do that. But you can go full rear-wheel drive, or you can vary the torque distribution. It'll show the pedal input. There's a lap timer function, drift optimize. Like, look at all of these things. Whoa, that's pretty cool too. Like, they actually designed this for track use. Ooh, Atlanta Motorsports Park. I have been there. This is a lot of fun. Like, this is properly enthusiast-focused stuff. All right, we have to head to Costco, so let's do a bit of driving and talking about the Ioniq 5N. Ooh, that was the P0 summer tires chattering because it's very cold today. It's supposed to be warm and spring, but instead we got snow today, and it's 35 degrees out. So these tires definitely are not going to be very plentiful in terms of grip at the moment. But this thing has been a very fun vehicle to live with this week. How am I doing with range? Oh, I charged at 94%, 190, it just went down, 193 miles of range. That is going to be one of the weak points of the Ioniq 5N, the range figure. It's not massive. Even in the optimal EPA rating, 221, you're not going to get to that if you're having some fun or if it's cold out like it is right now. But fun, that is the key word. If you ignore the range, this thing is absolutely all about the fun, and it brings so much fun. There is a almost overwhelming amount of technical wizardry and gadgets, and to be honest, some of them are gimmicks, but they're fun gimmicks, and that's what this thing is about. For example, N E-shift. Press that. We have simulated paddle shifters, or simulated gears controlled by your paddle shifters. Do you hear that noise right now? So that's generated, obviously. Downshift. Ooh, that's a quick little blip. It's like an 8-speed dual clutch. This is the first time I've ever experienced an EV with paddle shifters, and it's very interesting. And the realism, the way they mess with like the torque kick as you're upshifting, downshifting, Like it properly feels realistic. And like you can also hit red line. So watch this. It just completely hit a wall as if it's actually a dual clutch with a internal combustion engine. Those are those downshifts. And then the other cool thing is I can play around with the engine sound. So if I go over here to N mode, cool little graphic right there. Let's see, we go over here, performance options. I go to N active sound. This is ignition. Here we have evolution. Ooh. So I'll play around with that one. This one is supposed to be inspired by high-performance electric vehicles. The first one, Ignition, is supposed to be an actual gas engine, internal combustion, modeled off of a gas engine. Supersonic is inspired by a fighter jet. So Evolution, ready? I feel like I am in a video game. And that is what this car is designed for. The video game generation, right? Like, I might as well be playing Forza. And then Supersonic. It's very whooshy. I don't know which one's my favorite. I think Evolution. So this is Ignition. It's supposed to sound like a 4-cylinder. Back to Evolution. Yeah, this one's my favorite. And then if you really don't like it, you can turn it off, but not when you're in E-shift mode, I believe. N E-shift. If I turn it off here, we go back to active sound, you can turn it off. So now there's no sound at all generated. Hyundai absolutely loves N and acronyms. So this thing has, look, N launch control, N E-shift, N active sound plus, N battery preconditioning, N pedal, N drift optimizer, N race, N torque distribution. Everything is an N something. You have the N buttons on the steering wheel, the N logo here. You're not going to forget that you're in a Hyundai N vehicle. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. I mean, some of these things are pretty wild. Drift optimizer. There is just, again, so many things to play with. This thing is absolutely designed for the video game generation. Also like this, regular vehicles have them too, but the blind view monitor, so when you use your turn signal for changing lanes or making a turn, it pulls up the camera view right there in the cluster. Even if you go to the other view, it's a little bit smaller here, but we have the camera always pulled up when you have the turn signal pulled up. Like, look at this one too. The gauges, the graphics, they're not like over the top, super showy, fancy, but they are really, really cool. And it just adds to the whole fun experience, right? We have the speedometer in the middle, but if I go to here, we have our tachometer. Can I rev this thing if I'm in neutral? Yep. Is it video gamey? Absolutely. Is it fun? Abso-freaking-lutely. And just the steering wheel itself here, right, with the NGB button here, the paddle shifters, like, this is so cool. If we want some luxury comfort touches, I can turn on my heated seat, my heated steering wheel. They're also cooled. Wee-hee! Oh, geez. A little bit of a sliding. You can fully vary the torque split on this thing, too. If I go back here to N mode, these are all the different customization settings, launch control, but no, not here. If I go back, I go here, N torque distribution, okay. Am I in the right mode? No, I'm not in the right mode. So let's see. See, there's a lot of different things to play with. Okay, so I have N torque distribution, okay. I can vary my torque split. So now we're 100% to the rear, which is, that's gonna be fun. We also have drift optimizer. Like, there is so much that we can mess around with. So Hyundai also did a lot to strengthen this platform to allow it to handle the additional power and all the performance gains they wanted to give the Ioniq 5N. So we have an additional 42 welding points, 6.9 additional feet of structural adhesives just to strengthen everything. The battery motor mounts have been stiffened, the subframe is more rigid, all of this to be able to handle the power and torque. Woo-hoo. We have adjustable everything. Pretty much everything is adjustable, and this thing does get pretty firm. Even in the softest mode, it definitely trends more towards the firm side, and they say they wanted to give it rally-inspired handling, and you can absolutely feel that transmitted through the driving experience. I'm not exaggerating. This thing is properly hysterical inducing fun. Like, this is what you would want to put somebody in to change their mind on EVs being fun. Beyond just speed, because there are definitely quicker accelerating, faster EVs, and to me that's just, it's cool. That's a one party trick. After that it can be kind of boring. This thing, while it's not the absolute quickest thing out there, like a Rivian, a tri-motor or quad motor Rivian would be faster, an SUV or truck, right? It's the other holistic experience that they give you, all the little things from the E-shift to the drift mode and all that kind of stuff, and the fact that they made this thing actually track capable. Obviously, this week we're just living with it in the real world. We're not doing anything track focused, but when this thing came out, they had their actual launch and they were on racetracks doing track things. It's got like a state of charge track mode thing. You can precondition the battery to prepare it for track shenanigans. You can optimize it for whether you're doing drag racing or road course stuff. There's like an endurance mode. They up the cooling. They engineered this thing properly. This is the level of engineering dedication that typically you would see in like a BMW M Core or a proper performance. I'm actually feeling a lot of the porpoising right now. Like, we are in very firm mode and this road is not good, and I am definitely porpoising quite a lot. I'm gonna go back into normal mode for a second because this road is not good. We also have redone regen braking, right? So not only are the physical brakes bigger, but they wanted to utilize the regen braking, which can deliver up to 0.6 Gs of braking force. That's nice because that can help keep your physical brakes, right, not overheating, or also increase the life of the physical brakes, but also to help handle the weight. I mean, there's no getting around it. EVs are heavier, so using regen braking can also assist in that way. In the interest of transparency, full disclosure, I have found a rather concerning issue with the 5N. When you are in E-shift mode, the simulated gear shift mode, there's certain instances if you floor it and then let off the accelerator, the vehicle keeps accelerating. It freaked me out. It is rather unnerving. Luckily, when you hit the brakes, it will slow down. I let the team know it's going to go to the dealership to get looked at, but it's rather worrying, and I did see online some other customers reported having the similar thing. So let me demonstrate. So if I floor it right now, I'm not on the accelerator, and we're still accelerating. Like, that's not good. That's really not good. So if I accelerate again, my foot is off. I'm still adding speed, right? Yeah, that's not good. I let the team know, and they say it's gonna go to the dealership after I finish with this car. I believe I saw something online that some customer said it's stemming from a recent over-the-air update, some sort of software update. But that one is really concerning. When I'm using the paddle shifters, like, it's fine, like, most of the time, like doing this, let off accelerator, we're coasting, slowing down. Just a couple times I've been able to have that experience, and it's very just concerning, because this is not like some little 200 horsepower Toyota Prius. This is a 600 horsepower EV super crossover, essentially, right? So yeah, hopefully they get resolved. If you have one of these, be very careful, because it really caught me unawares. When your normal mode is fine, but in the E-shift mode, just do it one more time. See, I'm still accelerating. I'm not on the accelerator. Then it like hits a wall, but it's just, that's not right. Still accelerating. Nope, that's not good. So yeah, very not good. But the rest of everything is quite a lot of fun with this thing. Hopefully that gets resolved with an over-the-air update. It is something absolutely to be aware of, and I had to share that. You guys just saw it a couple times. I took my foot completely off the accelerator, and it was still just adding speed. Late night, about to hop back in the Ionic and head back to the hotel. We'll unplug. Take a look at those taillights. That's so cool. Shared with the regular Ioniq 5, and all the Ioniq models have this little kind of square pattern, right? But even though it's a little bit dirty too, this paint looks quite nice in the parking lot lighting. Go ahead and press that. Close the charging port. Metallic orange pearl. I do love how spacious this thing feels. I've got a ton of headroom here at 6'3". They also slightly lower the seating position. It's like 0.79 inches lower to give you a little bit more sportier of a seating position. Couple of other cool details. The dead pedal and the brake and accelerator here have that checkerboard pattern, the little squares, and then there's a little N logo down there. And also, apparently this right here has been redesigned for better knee and shin support, so when you're on the track cornering at high G forces, this is like a little bit more padded to support your legs. So you might be wondering, how much does the Ioniq 5N, actually, no, you're not going to be wondering because that's the title of the video, but $67,000 as option with destination delivery right around that price point. And it's pretty well optioned just from the factory. There weren't a ton of standalone options. Whee! So 67 grand actually I think is not bad. Like, that's a decent value for something at this power level. You get a good amount of features. Now, a couple interesting decisions they made, right? The fact that it has heated and cooled seats, great, but they're manual adjusting. So is that on purpose to make it feel more kind of race car like, or are they trying to save weight, which then really wouldn't make sense because it's a heavy EV and it's got heated and cooled seats. It's kind of like, it reminds me of when BMW with like the M3 CS, they went super hardcore and you don't even get a center console. Like, you can't open it and put stuff in there, but it's got heated seats and it's got like the carbon hood and everything. It's like, huh, those are very interesting decisions. What else? The range is not the strongest aspect of this thing. The fact that I'm at 94% showing 171 miles of range, right? That's just the real world usage. I did see some people online, like some outlets testing, that they were able to actually beat the EPA rating 250 something miles on a charge. So I don't know if they were in the desert hypermiling downhill. I didn't read it specifically, but my experience, again, still tail end of winter, even though it should be spring by this point. It's cold, which is not ideal for EVs, and I've been rather judicious with the right foot. That definitely is impacting the range figure, so that would be one other little complaint. But overall, it's been, this definitely brings the fun. The fun to dollar ratio on this car is very, very high. And I also respect and can feel the fact that they did proper engineering things on this vehicle, from setting up the way it handles, to some of the the more fun aspects like the noise, the sound, the shifting is a gimmick. We're not gonna sugarcoat that. Like, without a doubt, it is absolutely a gimmick, but it's a fun gimmick. And a car like this is truly all about fun. It's not trying to be a GT3 RS. It has a freaking drift mode, right? Like, this is clearly about entertainment, and it really, really fulfills that. So the ultimate big question is, would I buy one? Would I personally buy one? The range thought part makes it challenging, because I would buy this as like a fun daily. Like, imagine having this instead of Audi S5, or maybe not, no, Audi SQ5. How about that? Audi SQ5, a gas version, or maybe a Macan S or a Ioniq 5N. If this thing had 300-ish miles, 300 to 350 miles of range, oh, I would be really, really strongly considering this as a fun daily driver, because it brings more fun stuff and I think more performance than those options. And it really does feel like I'm in a video game. It does. And if you were the generation that grew up playing Forza and Gran Turismo and games like that, right, I think you'll really, really enjoy this car. And they've really accomplished changing people's kind of mindset and the thoughts towards enthusiast EVs. I remember seeing so much chatter everywhere about the 5N. So they accomplished something with this, and I'm excited to see where they keep taking the sub-brand and future versions, iterations, other models. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, living with the Ioniq 5N. No track testing this week. Obviously, this was a real-world living with situation. Just what is it like to have on a day-to-day basis around town? Yeah, stuff like that is so much fun. Thanks for watching.